When we do ardas with so much love, that's when Maharaj listened to us. And by Pindapal Singh Ji in their katha, they broke down the word ardas so beautifully. They said, Ada is for Antarjami, that Maharaj is the inner knowing. They know everything about us. They know what's going in our mind. Everything, the battle between negative and positive thoughts that we're constantly dealing with, they know it all. And Rara is for Rakha, that Paramatma is our Rakha, is our protector. Maharaj is protecting us at all times. Dadda is for Data. Maharaj are the giver. Deda de, lade thak pahe. That Maharaj, Deda de, they're always giving. Lade thak pahe. The one that's on the receiving end gets tired of receiving, but the giver never gets tired of giving. And Satsa is for Sahara, for support. That Maharaj are our support at all times. That we should seek out to Maharaj whenever we are down, whenever we need any sort of help in life, whenever we need to do anything in life. We can seek support of Maharaj. So moving on, in the life of Guru Hargobind Sahib Ji, so remember very early on, they taught us two main things. One, that when we have this Khalsa Swaroop, there's a big responsibility on us. And two, that we need to live our lives consciously, that we need to take every step in life, every thought that we have, everything that we say from our mouth, everything that we hear, we need to be very much aware of what we're seeing, what we're hearing, what we're saying to other people as well. So before Guru Hargobind Sahib Ji left their body and became Jyoti Jyot, they gave the Guruship to Guru Har Rai Sahib Ji. And they gave bachan to Guru Har Rai Sahib Ji that they followed to the T. Guru Har Rai Sahib Ji would follow every single command that the Guru gave them. Why? Because they loved them so much. So Guru Hargobind Sahib Ji gave a command to Guru Har Rai Sahib Ji to always keep an army of 2,200 Sikh soldiers. They also said that during the time that you're going to be Guru, there will be no battle. You will not be fighting in a battle. But even then, have 2,200 Sikh soldiers, tiyar bar tiyar, meaning ready upon ready. So doesn't this remind you of the time that we're in right now? Because the time that was in Guru Har Rai Sahib Ji's time, it was very peaceful. There was a none. There was no problem, no issue. There was nobody attacking us or anything. So it sort of reminds us of the time that we're in right now. We're in a peaceful state. There's no one going after us, chasing us, or trying to kill us. So at that time, Guru Hargobind Sahib Ji gave a hukam to be tiyar bar tiyar, that you never know that when that time might come where we need to ignite our warrior spirit, when we need to use that warrior spirit. So it's important to pass on that warrior spirit from generation to generation, such that when we need it, we can use it. So we have Gatka classes every Sunday that we can go to ignite that warrior spirit and keep it going and pass it down our generations as well. We can bring our kids to the Gatka class. You yourself can come to the Gatka class. And again, you can ask Ravinder Singh for more details. Let's get that warrior spirit in ourselves as well. And during Guru Hargobind Sahib Ji's time, they used to go hunting. And what they used to do was, they would ask the Sikhs, they would take the Sikhs to the jungle, and they would ask them to hunt the animals and kill the animals. So the reason why they would do that is, one, it preps them for the battle. And it helps them learn how to wield the sword, how to use the bow and arrow, how to kill an animal. Because to be real, in the battle, you need to know how to wield the sword. You need to know how to use the bow and arrow. And you need to know how to kill the enemy as well, the one that's attacking you. So by killing the animal, they would learn how to practice those techniques, how to practice those tactics, but also they would see blood on the ground as well. They would see blood all over the animal as well, and that would help them not be anxious in the battlefield, because the battlefield is going to be it's going to be rivers of blood. So that was one thing that Guru Hargobind Sahib Ji did during their time. And the second reason why they did that is because these animals, their souls, were trapped in the animal form, from juni to juni, from life form to life form. And they wanted mukti. So in order to liberate them, either Guru Hargobind Sahib Ji or the Sikhs would kill these animals and liberate them, such that they either get liberated or come into a human form in the form of a Gursikh and meet Vaheguru in that way. And Sangat Ji, I would like to remind you that Maharaj are Beyant. Their perception is Beyant. They themselves are limitless. Our perception is limited. We don't know, we only perceive, we only understand what we perceive before us. We don't know what's going on in the background. But Maharaj know everything. They know our past, they know our present, they know our future. So we don't need to ever doubt them. We don't need to ever think why they did what they did. Because they are beyond. So one thing that Guru Har Rai Sahib Ji changed during their time, because they were given the command to have 2,206 soldiers and Tyar Bar Tyar, they took them out to the jungles. They went horseback riding, took them out to the jungles. But instead of killing the animals, because they were so compassionate and kind, they said to capture the animals instead. Now the tactics, the speed, the attention that is needed in order to capture the animal is much more vigorous than it is to kill an animal. You can just shoot at an animal from a distance, but you need proper strength. You need stamina in order to catch an animal and release him. So Maharaj would say to catch the animal and release them, and when you catch them, if they have been injured, then bring them back, we'll cure them, and then you can release them back into the jungles. So this way, Sangat Ji, Guru Har Rai Sahib Ji didn't let the Biras die. And we can practice this as well in today's time by attending Gadka classes, by learning self-defense, such that we keep that Biras going as well. And Sangat Ji, they use that Biras in their 10th form as the form of Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj. So whatever they learned, the strategies that they learned, they didn't have to relearn them. They were just passed down from generation to generation, such that the time when it came to fight that battle against the enemies, against the darkness that was coming across, they used those tactics in their advantage. So that's something that we can do as well. So moving on to another time, another Sakhi that during Guru Har Rai Sahib Ji's time. So Dara Shikoh was one of the sons of Shah Jahan, and Aurangzeb was another son, so they were brothers. So there were 4 sons of Shah Jahan, Aurangzeb and Dara Shikoh. And Guru Gobind Singh Ji would call, and you can hear Nihang Singh's also call Aurangzeb Naranga, because Guru Gobind Singh Ji said, "Tere sare rango da davange," that we'll get rid of all your rangs in the battlefield, all your colors. So you can often hear Aurangzeb as Naranga, called as Naranga. So Dara Shikoh was a faqir, he was his son, he was a Sufi, so he was more so intact with his saintly side because he did Sangat of saints, saintly beings. So before Shah Jahan was going to die, he passed on his throne to Dara Shikoh, being the eldest son. Aurangzeb didn't like that at all. So what he did was he plotted against Dara Shikoh and he tried to get him killed. The way he did that was he took a hair of a lion's mustache, so lion's much, and he gave it to a rasoiya, a servant that worked in the kitchen, and he said to grind it up in smaller pieces and put it in the chawal, put it in the rice, and give it to Dara Shikoh. So the rasoiya, the servant, did exactly what he was asked to do. And when Dara Shikoh ate it, obviously he didn't know what was in the food, so he ate it and he got really sick. So Gyani Sher Singh Ji, when they did Katha of Suraj Prakash Granth, they said that a lion's hair is so sharp that it can just cut through. It's so sharp that it can cut through any tissue, any organs, and it's so dangerous in that way. So when you can imagine when Dara Shikoh was eating the food, it was cutting through his organs. Wherever that piece of hair landed, it was just cutting through it. So Dara Shikoh got really sick. And Shah Jahan got really worried because 1, he loved his son, and 2, he wanted to pass on his throne to his son. So he called all the doctors around Hindustan. So he was the emperor of Hindustan. He called all the doctors around Hindustan to come over to help Dara Shikoh recover. So all of the doctors, they called them Hakims, they tried everything they could, all the tricks in the books, everything, nothing worked. And then Shah Jahan was like, what's the point of your doctory? What's the point of your Hakimi if you can't even cure my son? So then Shah Jahan said to the tradesmen to go around and look for some sort of medicine that can help him. And the Hakims at that time said that we know of a medicine that can cure your son. It's hadar. Hadar is something, it's similar to dry dates, but there's a specific amount of hadar that you need and long. And Shah Jahan said to go out, tell the tradesmen around the borders to see if they can find any hadar. And then Wazir of Shah Jahan said that we know a place where we can find hadar. They said that Guru Har Rai Sahib Ji has a medical center in Dawakhana, and we can find the ingredients to cure Darashiko there. And then at that time, Shah Jahan was like, how can I go to Guru Har Rai Sahib Ji when I went into battle with Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji at least 4 times? How can I go to them? How can I ask them to help me when I have been in battle with their grandfather? And the vizier, being so wise, he said, the house of Guru Nanak doesn't believe in enmity. If you go to Guru Har Rai Sahib Ji with lots of love and humility, they will definitely help you. So at that time, Shah Jahan wrote a letter to Guru Har Rai Sahib Ji asking for harad, which had to weigh between 200 to 250 to about 300 grams, and ekumasiga long. And he asked for those ingredients, and along with that, he asked for gajmoti. That's an elephant's pearl. And he said that, I've never seen a pearl like that in my life, and I know that you have it, Maharaj. Can you please give it to me? And being an emperor, he's never seen an elephant's pearl, but Maharaj had it. So Maharaj, when they read the letter, they gave the ingredients and they gave the pearl away as well. And for those that are wondering how can an elephant have a pearl, so an elephant around its time, this is very rare by the way, not every elephant would have it. Around an elephant's lifetime, there is a dentine that breaks away from the cavity, the wall, from his head. And then because elephants shake their heads so vigorously, it keeps on just hitting the piece that has broken off, just keeps on hitting the cavity of the wall, and it starts to become polished into a pearl. So then Maharaj gave that away, because Maharaj here teaching us that we shouldn't have any attachment to this world. And just like that, Maharaj just gave that precious pearl away. Now think about giving your phone away to someone for like a week or 2. That's really hard, isn't it? Let alone giving a pearl. So that's something that Maharaj is teaching us, that this world is temporary. Don't get attached to it. Don't get attached to these worldly affairs that we're so entangled in these days. Get out of it. Live a life without any sort of attachment. So then Shah Jahan came at a point where he was so humble, and because he loved his son so much, he wanted to save him. When he came into humility, that's when things happened. So bal chutkiyo bandhan pare kachu na ho to paye. So bal chutkiyo bandhan pare, that we're bogged down with so many different bondages that kachu na ho to paye, that we cannot do anything. Kaho Nanak ab od hare gaj jeo ho sahay. That Maharaj, you are my support now. That I've tried everything I could I tried everything that I could that is in my arsenal, that any tools that I could have used. I've tried everything, but nothing is working out. Now you are my support. You are there for me. Please save me. This is the Emperor of Hindustan coming down, bowing down with humility so he can save his son's life. That's something big that we can take away from this as well. So he tried everything, but after failing, he came down in humility and he asked Maharaj for help. That's something we can do as well. So this is the last Saki that I'm going to talk about, and it's my favorite one, so it's not going to take that long. I'm looking at the Sevadar spaces looking at me. It's one beautiful Saki that I really want to share, because this is something I can imagine myself saying as well. So one day, the Sikhs asked Guruji, and I can imagine myself saying this, that we do so much part, but we don't understand it. What's the point of doing it? Should we do it? Should we continue doing it or not? So Kavi Santokh Singh Ji in Suraj Prakash Granth, I'm just going to read it out. They say, Paat kare hum nit gurbani, arth parmarad reet na jani. That Paat kare hum nit gurbani, that we do Paat, we read Gurbani, nit means every day. So we read Gurbani every single day. Arth parmarad reet na jani. But we don't know the meaning of Paat, the Gurbani that we're reading. Jo marag gur shabd batayo, the marag, the way, the teachings of the Guru that are being bestowed upon us. So hum tena jat kamayo. I cannot fulfill those, I cannot kamai, I cannot live it, I cannot live it practically. So should we continue reading Gurbani or not? So they were saying whatever the Gurbani is telling us, we don't know how to live it practically because we don't understand it. So Maharaj said at that time, when the Sikh asked the question, they said, continue reading Gurbani, but I will answer this question in more details later in the day. So that afternoon it rained, and when it stopped raining, Guruji got onto their horse, and then they went out. And the Sikhs followed, and the Sikh that asked the question also followed. And then they suddenly came to a stop, and they saw bushes, and they saw something shining within the bushes. And Guruji said, "What's that in the distance? What's shining? What's shining there? Can someone go and get it for me?" And one Sikh went, and they said, "Maharaj, it's a clay pot. It's a broken clay pot." And they said, "Okay, bring it to me." So they brought the clay pot over to Guruji, and they gave it to Guruji, who was sitting on the horse. So Maharaj said, "Why is this clay pot shining? Because there's another one in the distance, but it's not shining. What's so different about this one?" And the Sikh said, "Maharaj, it might be because it's coated with ghee, clarified butter." They said it might be coated with ghee, that's why it's shining. So then Maharaj said, "But why is it shining?" That still doesn't answer the question. They said, "Well, it might be because that the owner would put ghee in it every single day, that the ghee got absorbed by the clay pot." So then, just like that, Maharaj then asked a question, which is sort of like a mic dropping moment. He said, okay, so when the ghee goes into the clay pot, does the clay pot know the arth of ghee? Does the clay pot know what's going in there? But the ghee is still going in there, and it still absorbed it. So just like that, just like the way that the clay pot doesn't know what's going in it, but it still has the ability to absorb it, just like that, our body is like the clay pot. It has the ability to absorb everything that we're reading, the Gurbani that we're reading. So never give up on reading Gurbani, always read Gurbani. And again, Sangaji, the main ingredient here is love. When we do anything in life with love, it's very much the rust that we get out of it, the happiness that we get out of it is at a different level than we do when we do things mechanically. But at this point, even if we read Gurbani mechanically, even if we read it with love, it's still the same. It's amazing. So never stop reading Gurbani. And the last thing I would like to say is, I've been told by a Gursikh that it's a saying, it says, "Bani Gant Paisa Gant." So when we read Gurbani, when we memorize Gurbani, it's like having a pocket full of money. So Maharaj say that this clay pot, just like this clay pot is temporary and it broke, this body is temporary. It will die one day. But what will go with you near the end when death comes is the Bani that you read. It's a simran that you do. It's a seva that you do, everything with love. So Bani Gant Paisa Gant. So Sangaji, I've made numerous mistakes, and I went 5 minutes over probably, and I would like to apologize. And I really hope that everyone, each one of us, would walk out of this Gurdwara having some sort of connection with Guru Har Rai Sahib Ji and feeling that love for Guru Har Rai Sahib Ji in their hearts. And please, blessings, Sir, continue to learn the Saktis of our Guru and share them with you as well. So I would like to thank you, and we would just finish with a bit of Simran of Guru Har Rai Sahib Ji, and then we'll move on to the next part of the program. Simrao Sri Har Rai, 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 Simrao Sri Har Rai. Vaheguru Ji ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji ki Fateh. Vaheguru, Vaheguru.
Con ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ 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 गोविंद सिंह आपे गुर चेला वाह वाह गोविंद सिंह आपे गुर चेला वाह वाह गोविंद सिंह आपे गुर चेला वाह वाह गोविंद सिंह आपे गुर चेला हर सच्चे नगत माया सत्संग मेला 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 नानक ने बोले आगे से गानेला 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 वाह वाह गोविंद सिंह आपे गुर चेला